Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Forex trading course. This is Stan Technology IT Solutions. And in this course, we are going to be going through everything Forex from the basic to the advanced topics and issues that concerns Forex trading. So this is the first lesson and the first unit of the first module. Now this course is going to be 8 modules, and each of these modules have their own units, and each of the units has its own lesson. So we are in the module 1, unit 1, lesson 1. So let's proceed. And before I start, I would like to ask that everyone listening to this, please pay attention, listen carefully, read along while I explain, and follow through. It's going to be an amazing journey. So let's go. All right. Like I said, this is the module 1, unit 1, lesson 1 of our forex trading tutorials. So we're going to start with the question, what is forex? Of course, before we start talking about how to trade forex and how to make profit from forex, we must know what forex is. So two definitions I have here. Number one, quite simply, forex is the global financial market that allows one to trade currencies. So the word forex is actually a combination of two words. If you separate the first three letters away from the last two letters, you are going to have two different words that stand for two different things. So the first three letters, FOR, stands for foreign, is an abbreviation for foreign, and then the last two letters, EX, it's an abbreviation for exchange. So when we talk about forex, we are talking about foreign exchange. So quite simply, it is the global financial market that allows one to trade currencies. So by trading currencies, we are simply exchanging currencies. So forex is all about exchanging of currencies. You understand? So if you think one currency will be stronger versus the other and you end up correct, then you can make profit. So while we are trading currencies, the reason why we trade forex is to make profit from it, right? So while we are trading currencies, the motive behind our mind is actually to make profit. How do you make profit from trading currencies? Now, the way the forex market goes is this: it's more or less like a speculative market, in the sense that you buy a certain currency and you hope that the value of that currency increases, and when the value increases, you sell. That's how you make profit from forex. But when you buy a certain currency, let's say you buy a currency at the rate of, say, let's use Nigerian naira for an example. You bought Nigerian naira at the rate of 1,000 naira to $1, and you bought $10 worth of Nigerian naira. You're going to be having 10,000 naira for the value of that 10 USD, being that $1 is exchanging for 1,000 naira. So you're going to be having 10,000 Nigerian naira for your 10 USD. Now, assuming that the exchange rate between the dollar and the naira changed, as at the time you bought it was $1 to 1,000 naira. Assuming that the exchange rate changed and it became, say, $1 to 500 naira, right? So remember, you've bought $10 worth of Nigerian naira and you have 10,000 naira sitting in your account, and you did that exchange at the rate of $1 to 1,000 naira, right? So now let's assume that the exchange rate, something happened and then the exchange rate dropped to the end that $1 is now exchanging for 500 naira instead of the initial $1 to 1,000 naira. So it's now exchanging now for $1 to 500 naira, and you already have 10,000 naira sitting in your account. And so when you saw that, okay, there have been a shift in the exchange price, you decided to make a move. So what did you do? You took your 10,000 naira and then you use it to buy US dollars. So for every 1,000 you be spending, you'll be having $2. So your 10,000 naira will now give you $20, and by so doing you have made a profit of an extra $10. Remember, you started this transaction with just $10. You bought Nigerian naira and you were able to get 10,000 Nigerian naira by spending $10. But when there was a fluctuation in price that went to your favor, you sold, you used your 10,000 naira you were having now to buy US dollars, and you're now having 20 US dollars because the price has dropped. So the business you started with a $10 capital, you now have $20. You have made a profit of an extra $10. So that's how the forex market goes. That's how you make profit from the forex market. You basically buy currency and hope that the value of that currency will increase. You understand? So that's how you make profit from the forex market. So that explains what I wrote at the bottom of this photograph here. If you think one currency will be stronger versus the other and you end up correct, then you can make a profit. So let's make progress. Now, let me give you an example. If you have ever traveled to another country, you usually have to find a currency exchange booth at the airport and then exchange the money you have in your wallet into the currency of the country you are visiting. You go up to the counter and notice a screen displaying different exchange rates for different currencies. An exchange rate is the relative price of two currencies from two different countries. Now let's assume you are traveling to, say, South Africa, or you are traveling to Italy, for example. You are leaving Nigeria to go to Italy. Of course, in Nigeria we use naira, but in Italy they don't use naira, they use euro. So for you to be able to do any transaction when you get to Italy, you must look for a way to swap your naira to euro. So by swapping your naira to euro, you have actually traded forex. You understand? So many of us, we do trade forex actually. We've bought the US dollar, we've swapped US dollar to naira. Anytime you swap currency, you are using one currency to buy another currency, or you are swapping one currency to another currency, you're actually trading forex. But the difference is that it's not as though you are doing it in that sense to make profit as at that time. The motive behind your swapping currencies when you are moving from country to country is actually to have the currency of the other country so that you can be able to do transactions in that particular country. But in the case of we trading it online, we trade it with the motive of making profit. You understand? So that's the example of what forex is. Peradventure you still don't understand or get the picture of what forex is. That's why I had to bring this example. Whenever you leave from one country to another country and the currency they use differs, you must swap your currency, your local currency, to the currency of the country you are in. So that's when that swapping takes place, you have actually done forex, because forex is simply the swapping of currencies. You use the currency you have, your local currency, to purchase a foreign currency. You understand? So I gave an example of the Nigerian naira and then the euro. Most European countries use the same currency, they use the euro, right? So that is the example. But let me show you something else. Let's play a video, and this video will further explain to us and help you to understand better what we are saying.
Have needed to exchange your money? If so, you have already participated in Forex trading. Forex is the short form of foreign exchange. Well, Forex is a bit more than that. For example, companies buy goods from other countries. In order to buy them, they need to obtain the local currency first, just like us when going on holiday. The difference is they will exchange huge amounts. When these companies exchange these huge amounts, they will actually move the price, because the demand for the currency that they need increases. When the demand increases, the price increases. With all this exchanging going on around the world, the exchange rates constantly move. This is how it works. When currencies are exchanged, they have a certain price, the exchange rate. As in any market, the price of a currency is determined by the law of supply and demand. If there are many people or companies that want to change euros into dollars, the price of the dollar will rise against the euro, and so the exchange rate will change. Let's use an everyday example to explain how you can actually profit from this. Say you live in Europe and went on holiday to the United States. Let's say that you changed your 500 euros into US dollars at the rate of $1.4 for every euro. You got 700 US dollars, but you do not spend any money at all. So you still have $700 after you come back. After the exchange rate moved from 1.4 to 1.3, instead of getting just 500 euros back, you actually get 538.5 euros. You have gained 38.5 euros simply from holding your money in dollars while the exchange rate changed. This is essentially how we trade in the Forex market. We buy a certain amount of a currency, hold on to it whilst the exchange rate moves, then change it back, making money along the way. How to decide when the right time to buy and sell is exactly what we teach you throughout the rest of our learning lessons. As you can imagine, traveling a lot and saving a bit of money on your holiday budget and then exchanging it, it's not really a practical approach to trading currencies. Fortunately, there is an easier way to do this. You can trade currency through online exchange offices called brokers. What this means is that you can exchange currencies online throughout the day and take advantage of the constantly fluctuating exchange rates. Just as in the example of when you went on holiday, you can buy different currencies and make a profit as the exchange rates change. This is trading the Forex market. Trading Forex online with a broker has many benefits. You can trade Forex from your home or anywhere that you have an internet connection. The Forex market never sleeps. It is open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, and so can suit your daily routine. You do not need a huge budget to get started. As little as $150 is enough to begin trading and building your account over time. Of course, it will require some learning until you get there, but this is exactly what Trademo is here for. To help you learn how to trade in a way that can suit your individual lifestyle, and to help you navigate your way through the Forex market.
All right, so I believe you've
You've needed to exchange your
benefited
money.
from that video we just watched. You've gotten more insight on what I've been explaining. So, having watched that video, I just want to quickly make some points for you to note about the forex market. So, please take note of the following point. Number one, the foreign exchange market, which is usually known as Forex or FX market, is the largest financial market in the world. So, take note of that. So, when you say, I want to trade Forex, you're actually coming into the largest market in the world. So, foreign exchange market is the largest market in the world. That is, the turnover from the forex market cannot be compared to any other kind of business anywhere. You understand? So there's so much money to be made in forex trading, but it's a very, very, very risky business because most people come into it without first of all acquiring as much knowledge as possible that will help them and guide them in the journey of forex. Secondly, second point I wanted to note is that the foreign exchange market is a global decentralized market where the world's currency change hands. So forex is not just a local thing like okay Nigeria thing or a Ghana thing or a South Africa thing or even an Africa thing. No, forex is a global business. And not just that it's global all over the world, it's decentralized in the sense that it is a market that somebody don't have like most government don't have control over. You understand? It's actually a market that just it runs on its own. That's why the forest market does not close until weekends. Unlike the stock market that closes every evening, forest market is always open 24 hours. From Mondays to depends on where you stay in the world. Some persons the forest market open for them on 10 p.m. on Sunday night. While some persons it opens for them on say 6 p.m. in the morning of a Monday. It depends on your location. So, but once the forex market opens by Sunday or Monday, it keeps running till Friday by 10 p.m. That's when it closes up. So it's a global market, it's a decentralized market where all kinds of currencies can be exchanged. The third point is due to the wide range of the market participants, including central banks, financial institutions, corporations, hedge funds, and individual traders. Exchange rate change by the second, so the market is constantly in flux. What does this mean? The forex market is very volatile market. It means that, let's assume you buy, let me go back to the example I used before, the Nigerian naira and the US dollar. So let's assume you had $10 in your pocket and you wanted to buy Nigerian naira, and the exchange rate at the time you bought was $1 to 1,000 naira, and then you used your $10 to buy Nigerian naira. Obviously, you are going to be having 10,000 naira in your account. So assuming that the exchange rate between the naira and the dollar, there was a change to the end that $1 was now exchanging for 500 naira as against what you exchanged when it was $1 to 1,000 naira. So it's now $1 to 500 naira. And then you have 10,000 naira with you. At that point, you decide to say, okay, let me use 10,000 naira to buy USD. The market will be instant. Why? Because of the volatility in the market. The market is so volatile that if you want to sell any amount of currency now, there are buyers to buy it from you. And if you want to buy any amount of currency now, there are sellers you can buy from. So because it's a global market, because it's a very large market, and because financial institutions are big players in that market, central banks are big players in that market, corporations, hedge funds, and individual traders like you and I, we are all part of the whole ecosystem. So there's so much volatility going on. There are a lot of people to buy and there are a lot of people to sell. So if you want to sell your currency instantly, you have somebody to buy it. This is where forex kind of differs from real estate. For example, if I invest 2.5 million on a property, and yes, over time the property will appreciate, that's true. But let's assume I want to sell the property. You know very well that I cannot immediately just sell the property. Why? Because I might not easily get buyers like that. It might take some time before I'll be able to sell my property. But that's not the case of forex. In forex trading, if you bought a currency worth say $10,000, and for any reason you want to immediately sell it, you have a lot of buyers that will immediately buy it from you. So it's a very volatile market, and that's what makes forex very, very interesting. Right, so let's move on. More facts about forex, more points you need to know. So I've mentioned 3 points already, so let me continue. Now, aside from the fact that the forex market is a very large market, the market also rarely closes. I think I've made this point before. The market does not close. It opens virtually around the clock, which means is it 24 hours. Once it opens on Sunday night by 10 p.m., the forex market doesn't close until Friday night by 10 p.m. So 24 hours, whether you wake up at night, you want to trade, you will always be able to trade. You want to trade in the day, fine. In the morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever you feel convenient to trade, fine. You will always see something to trade. You understand? So it's a very beautiful business and a very beautiful market. Now, another point you should note is that the forex market is open 24 hours a day and 5 days a week, only closing during the weekend. So unlike the stock or bond market, the forex market does not close at the end of each business day. So instead of trading, just shift to different financial centers around the world. So the day starts when the trader wakes up in Auckland, Wellington, then moves to Sydney, then Singapore, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Frankfurt, London, and finally New York before trading starts all over again in New Zealand. So you see that from the New York Stock Exchange market to the New Zealand Stock Exchange market to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange market. So that's how the trading goes from one location to another. So because of that, it really doesn't close. By the time the New York Stock Exchange will be closing, the Auckland Wellington must have started. By the time those one are closing, Sydney has started. By the time is closing, Singapore has already started. So you see that it's constantly online. So it's a business that you will always be able to do trading whenever you want to trade, apart from weekends. Apart from weekends. So Forex is actually a very, very beautiful business for anyone who wants to come into it. So as a recap, what is Forex? Forex simply stands for foreign exchange, and it is the act of exchanging currency, exchanging one currency with another currency. That's all there is about Forex. So in our next lesson, our topic we'll be looking at will be who is trading or what is traded in Forex. Obviously, having known what Forex is, it's time to now know what are the things you trade when trading Forex. Do you sell shoes? Do you sell clothes? What is it that you actually trade? Because trading has to do with buying and selling, right? So if I'm trading, so what am I trading? So that's what we're going to be looking at in our next lesson. So thank you all for being part of this video tutorial. I really want to appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next lesson.